fall in love with the season's best.
All right. Let's see.
Rise.
All rise, ladies and gentlemen. Court is now in session.
I like that. You're looking for the vibes in the background, you know? Let people see, let people into the back behind the scenes.
Fact. Let me get some more sips of my cafe here, bro.
Woo!
Mm.
I got that water today.
Did we go live on all platforms here? Or did we just go live on my Twitch? Yes, we did.
No, everywhere.
All right. Good.
Yeah,
That's
live
good.
everywhere. We got live everywhere.
The Knicks look like they're still rolling. They're rolling,
What's the Knicks
controlling.
What's the Knicks
They're
record?
like 7-3 or something like that.
Oh, that's great.
They're getting off to a good start. Yeah.
Enjoy while it lasts, man.
Hey, yo, don't you even dare disrespect, brother. Come on now. What's wrong with you? Let's verify according to ESPN here, just really quickly. Knicks record right now. They are currently 7-4. I think that's pretty good, Savory. They're playing the Bucks tonight. So, I mean, I think that's pretty nice.
No. Hopefully they win.
They're about to get smashed. That's trash. And my Rangers look like they're doing pretty good, 7-3-3. So they're starting off pretty well this season.
Congratulations, Macho.
Yeah. Other than that, yeah. I know you don't care.
I'm gonna care about the playoffs though. I'm in it in the playoffs.
Yeah,
so they won't be there, but I'm in it. So But we are here ready to roll, ready to get stuff popping.
Yeah, let's do this.
We got my man Kyle Rittenhouse gets emotional on the stands. And to keep it simple, politicians keep lying. So you might ask yourself, what's new? What's new in the neighborhood?
No. Only Donald Trump lies.
Oh, only Trump lies. That's what it was.
He's the Russian colluder, brother. Come on now.
We should expose all these politicians. Expose all these politicians, man. We are live now. We're about to talk about some of these issues, play some clips, have some fun.
You know the only difference that I realize about Trump?
What?
Is that he actually admitted, he actually said, okay, I'll say that I'm wrong for shutting down the government as long as you provide funding, remember?
But they ain't trying to negotiate.
What about Chucky? What about Chuck Schumer, Adam Shifty Shift?
These politicians make an entire career offline. Anyways, we'll get to that. Welcome everybody. Love to see it. We are live in every single platform. Love to see it.
Got my corn t-shirt on, y'all. Okay. Shout out to corn, baby.
What your shirt says? Before we get into this, what your shirt says? Hold on.
It says corn, bro. That's corn. Still a freak. Yeah, come on now. I've gotten so many compliments off this shirt, especially when I was in San Antonio. Like, shout out to all my corn heads out there.
Very artistic too.
Very artistic. This guy. Hello and welcome.
My mic's on. Mic check. I sound good with my mic right here?
Yeah, you sound great.
Okay, perfect.
Can I get on with introducing us, or?
Let's go to it. Let's go.
Hello and welcome. I'm Macho. That's Savory, and you're watching us on Nobody TV. That's right. You're tuning in live to Drinks with a Nobody. Be sure to follow us on Twitch at MachoFix88 and at Savory_Edition. Be sure to also follow us on Twitter. We got our same handles there. Hey, Savory, how TikTok is we booming and moving?
Let me ask you. How's TikTok, man?
Oh yeah, we booming and moving and grooving right now.
Hitting that 1K mark. Go follow Macho Fix. Hitting that 1K.
Please follow me. I mean, I don't want to beg y'all, but please. I think I put good content out, and I need that 1,000 mark so that I can go live with my man Savory here on TikTok. And be sure to also follow us. We're building our Instagram community, Drinks with a Nobody. Also, we want to build our Discord so that everybody can talk and debate and challenge each other, as long as we do it respectfully, but challenge every idea and talk and whatever. In any case, in any event, you miss our previous broadcast, be sure to go on the YouTube, type in Drinks with a Drinks with a Nobody, hit that subscribe button, click that notification bell. Why? So that when we go live, you know it and you never miss a thing. Hey, Savory, what kind of audience are we trying to attract, and who do we want to talk to? Why?
Listen, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Maybe not all ages. I don't know if this is appropriate for everybody, but our channel's fun. We engage, but check it out, man. If you're the person who wants to talk about politics, but like I always say every single episode, you censor yourself, you put tape over your mouth, you let your thoughts inside. You leave them inside, man. Don't do that. Come join us at Drinks with a Nobody, where all thoughts, all opinions, all ideas are welcome. We might disagree with you. You might disagree with us, but we want to encourage you to come visit us. Take a look at what we do week by week, day by day, Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We always engaging, talking politics and culture. So please, we begging not because we want people, but because we want to build that community of people who are talking freely. So come join us.
Shout out to Justin Lopez, who just joined in on the chat. Thanks for joining. I appreciate you, brother.
And from TikTok, I think.
I
think I saw your name on my live, right? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Well, what's up?
My Spanish is not very good looking.
Good looking.
All right, we have a ton of stuff to get into. Let's just dive right into it. Savory, what do you got?
Let's do it. So the first one, let's go over this Kyle Rittenhouse situation. We just going through him taking the stands, what happened, and it should be interesting, right? For those of y'all not keeping up with every minute and hour of it. I know I'm not keeping up with every minute and hour, but I try to catch up on what's important. Let's take a look at this. Kyle Rittenhouse. Bam. And that was the end, ladies and gentlemen.
And there goes that. We started off very good. What's going on, Savory? What do you got over there?
Why was my face up there? Hold on.
No, that was me. I put your face up just to hide the other screen.
Protesters / rioters?
No. The only type of stuff that happened was the person that attacked me first threatened to kill me twice.
Okay. And the person who threatened to kill you,
he handles this really well. I know we both noted that, Macho, so people can see we think he handled this really well. And I know you are trained to answer, but sometimes, it's not easy being up there in the stands, being grilled by a lawyer who's trained to do this. So keep that in mind, people. And again, this gives you an idea of a human connection of having a court system, how people respond, how they feel about what they did. This all plays a role, which is why justice, you need to have a process for it, right? So let's keep this in mind.
Mr. Rosenbaum, correct?
Yes.
Before August 25th of 2020, had you ever seen him before?
I did not.
Had you ever done anything to upset him?
No.
Now, you said he threatened to kill you twice.
Yes.
So Kyle Rittenhouse faces charges of intentional, reckless, and attempted homicide, as well as reckless endangerment and the possession of a firearm as a minor. So those are the charges for those of y'all not keeping up with it. And let's see what he still continues to say right here.
Everybody that you shot at that night, you intended to kill, correct?
I didn't intend to kill them. I intended to stop the people who were attacking me.
By killing them?
I did what I had to do to stop the person who was attacking me.
By killing them?
2 of them passed away, but I stopped the threat from attacking me.
By using deadly force?
I used deadly force.
That you knew was going to kill?
I didn't know if it was going to kill them, but I used deadly force to stop the threat that was attacking me.
You intentionally?
So they're trying to get the man to say, yeah, I came out with my rifle and I was on a hunt to kill people. That's what they want him to say?
It appears that way. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm wondering what the what the stories here, because they're accusing him of homicide. So I guess they want him to admit that he intentionally did it, but they know damn well he didn't. Or am I bugging? Maybe they do believe he intentionally did it. I don't know. It's weird when
The
I see
prosecution's job is not about what they
It's not.
know. It's just to bring up this whole storyline of them, establishing the baseline to the jury that he intentionally was there to kill someone.
Yeah.
He used deadly force against Joseph Rosenbaum, correct?
Yes.
You intentionally used deadly force against the man who came and tried to kick you in the face,
Yes.
correct? You intentionally used deadly force against Anthony Huber, correct?
Yes.
You intentionally used deadly force against Gage Grosskreutz, correct?
Yes.
Well, that doesn't prove anything, by the way, if you intentionally use. Mr. Rittenhouse attorneys have argued he acted in self-defense and entered a not guilty plea. So just looking at that right there, right? This gives you at least the highlights of what's happening. It's important, right? When the person on trial takes the stand. That's very important because you get to see, which is why a lot of lawyers advise against it at times. They're like, no, we got you. Well, so it's interesting that they trusted him enough to really answer the questions properly. They trusted in the situation and the story he had. A lot of lawyers opt out from that. That's something I've learned too. So that's interesting. What are your thoughts on that too? Or why they let him on the stands before we move to the clip?
Just to humanize him, right?
Yeah.
He's a human being. I mean, he's also a child that had to use deadly force, whether he killed him intentionally or not. The fact of the matter is, this kid was in a situation where he had to use a firearm.
Yeah. So let's play this next clip here. I wanted to hear your thoughts on that because this next clip, we hear him, we see him get a bit emotional over what happened. So I'm wondering what people think of this. Was it genuine? Was it played? Was he a kid who's really overwhelmed? People might have different thoughts on this, but this is what happened, right? So they're asking him here about the situation. He's describing it, and as he's describing what's going down, he gets emotional on it.
Car source lot number 2 was.
And did you get back? Were you able to go in a northerly direction?
I wasn't.
Describe what happens.
Once I take that step back, I look over my shoulder and Mr. Rosenbaum was now running from my right side. And I was cornered from in front of me with Mr. Zeminski. And there were three people right there.
So yeah, it's interesting because my take on it is as a 17-year-old, it's a lot for a 17-year-old, so that's why I'm like, I can see how that can just come out, but
That's what that's what I run.
Just take time for our break anyway. You can just relax for a minute, sir. We're going to take a break about 10 minutes, and please don't talk about the case during the break. Read, watch, or listen to any conference call.
What's your raw thoughts, Macho? Give us your raw thoughts. What do you think on?
I really, I don't think the kid should go to jail, but I also don't have any sympathy for him at the same time, because I wouldn't personally. My mom, growing up, this is a cultural difference probably, but personally, my mom would never allow me to be out in the street like that during a riot. To defend or protect willingly, unless I was commissioned, unless I was told that this is my job, right? I'm military, or I'm a police officer, or I'm something. But if I am not supposed to be there, my mom would have had a absolute riot, and she probably would have dragged me by my ear out of there, along with my brother and my sister. because of the danger that environment proposes. So I honestly don't have any sympathy for the young man, because if you're going to be out there as a good Samaritan, knowing how intense these riots were at the time, Savory. I mean, why would a 17-year-old boy be out there? And furthermore, if you're going to be out there, have the mental wherewithal to understand that something could happen to you and to other people around you.
Yeah. Wow. Interesting take you have. I don't agree with your take, but I see where you're coming from, though. But the reason I feel like I have sympathy for him, because it's like, I agree with you. Is a culture difference between me and him as well. I think I will be told the same thing by my parents, like, you have no business being there. But the fact of the matter is, his culture is different. He's out there. They found it fit, whether it was his family or, people around him, to actually be in there, right? So I tell him,
I think he works around there, right? I think
yeah,
he
he
works
also
for
works
those
around there
schools.
as well.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
He also works around there. You showed me on TikTok video this person who broke it down, so that was good. You sent me that. But the point is, look, no one expects, even though you expect things to get somewhat riled up and wild, you don't really come out of the situation by any stretch of the imagination imagine that you would kill two people. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So that in itself, for me, I can see as a 17-year-old kid, is like, damn, he's almost like, I was like, I believe that he didn't meant to kill them from what I'm seeing in the case, but you got to let all the evidence come out. But for me, I can see why that kind of overwhelmed him. Doesn't mean he needed that reaction. And I don't think we should make a decision based on the reaction.
The angle that I'm taking here very quickly is not the fact that, and the prosecution can't take this angle as to why this person was even there. He's free to do that. He's free to be there. And, again, he was operating within his freedom rights. It's just a cultural difference of why a 17-year-old kid is there. Same thing for the Black Panther movement. There were a lot of young kids in the midst of riots going on in the 70s. So, the only reason why I don't have sympathy, I have sympathy in the fact that a young 17-year-old
I don't think you mean in a way that you don't care about it. You just you almost like, you there. That's what you got, brother. That's part of what you signed up for, is your attitude. I feel you. I'm with you. So we got a comment here that says, "Oh, I think he's 100% guilty."
Guilty of what?
I play this next clip, which is just 30-40 seconds. I'm curious.
Just give it a second here. Say, guilty of what? What is it? What is he guilty of? Actually pulling the trigger, or? Because obviously he is guilty.
Yeah, let him write that, but so we can keep moving. It's going to be on topic here. So, it's good. I'm curious to know what he's guilty of as well. Like, what is it? So, but check this clip out. So this is a left wing. Well, Michael knows is more right wing. He points out left wing media on how she apologized. Anna.
Was a lie. Even the people that Kyle Rittenhouse shot admitted that he shot them in self-defense. When one of the witnesses admitted this, the prosecuting attorney just put his head in his hands. He just thought, oh no, my case is completely falling apart. And to their credit, or at least to her credit, one leftist, prominent leftist, is admitting she was totally wrong. That would be Anna Kasparian of the Young Turks.
Young Turks.
What really mattered to me was...
So she is definitely left wing. She debated Ben Shapiro. I believe Ben Shapiro just made her look like she doesn't belong in that ring with him. But this is her, because she had real thoughts about Rittenhouse going to jail and all that. And this is her, I guess, flip-flopping.
How all of this unfolded. What was the thing that sparked it? What started all of it? And initially, I was under the assumption that Rittenhouse was the person who was chasing after Joseph Rosenbaum.
But how? If no evidence came out, why are you under that? Let me play another few seconds here.
That's how it had started. But I was wrong about that. Okay, so I want to correct the record. I was, in fact, wrong about that. So those details matter. Right? Who was chasing who matters.
All the details matter why we have a court system. Stop thinking that you get all your information off a YouTube clip.
The gunshots by some other unidentified person, that matters, especially if you're Rittenhouse and you're running away and then you hear shots and then Rosenbaum lunges toward him.
So I appreciate the honesty from her. Because many people who are condemning Kyle from the beginning are just going to be quiet or do a whole fuss at the end of this trial if he's found innocent. So both the murder cases and the charge against the person who survived. So like, but what are you telling us right here? There's a murder case that's on trial right now. That's what they're charging him for. But it's not murder if you kill someone, right? Because there's defenses against that. That's why we have in our country self-defense, right to carry, and all that. So they still have to prove that. And actually, the case is proving the opposite right now, right? Wouldn't you say? So
I have to verify that. I think even if you kill someone in self-defense, is considered like you killed someone. But murder, I think murder, it gives the connotation that you intentionally killed them without any interaction or without any self-defense claims. There's a self-defense claim on the table here, and are we evaluating that? Anyone in the chat, are we evaluating that this boy was actually acting in self-defense?
Yeah, we have to evaluate because that's the way he's going to go off. It's going to be self-defense, and we have a such thing in this country as defending yourself carrying a firearm. He might be charged for illegally carrying one, but even that is falling short now. But we'll see. Yeah,
facts.
So yeah, that's interesting.
So let's transition.
Thank you for your comment. Anyways, we appreciate your engagement. We would always, do our best to answer what you're saying in there. But as we shift here, we'll still see your comment. But we're about to, make a quick shift here. So yeah.
Durham's probe of the Russia investigation has netted another arrest. Igor Danchenko is accused of lying to the FBI, and he's facing felony charges. He's a researcher who was a key source of salacious rumors and claims about Donald Trump in the infamous Steele dossier. That dossier helped fuel the FBI's investigation into suspected ties between the Trump campaign and Russia. This video of Danchenko leaving the federal courthouse.
Let me say something. I believe the FBI is just as guilty. This is my thoughts. They're just covering their asses by arresting somebody who they're claiming. So when people are involved in such a big conspiracy, there are always people who are going to be puppets to the game, who are going to be sacrificed. He's being sacrificed to save the asses of their FBI, because I don't believe for 1 second the FBI had no idea. Don't come with that with intelligence. So I don't even, stuff like this is like,
what exactly are we watching here, Savory?
We're watching the Steele dossier that started the whole Russia collusion crap. And that Russia collusion was a whole bunch of misinformation, lacked evidence, lacked even a standing. So someone who gave that, which is the paperwork or evidence behind some of this, is this guy here. Durham is one of them. He's being what's the word I'm looking for? He's indicted. Yeah, he's being indicted on these charges. And my argument
for lying to the authorities.
Or lied to the authorities. Yeah. But it's so tricky because I think the FBI is as guilty. That's just my thoughts from what I'm being seeing.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt the FBI is culpable. And they were mobilized. They were weaponized for a fact. My initial thoughts here is, okay, so they were lying. Mm-hmm. So what exactly is going on here? If they were lying, why wasn't this dealt with in 2016 when this initially came out? Why is this happening now? So what, they think it was gonna change in their favor because Biden is in office? The truth is always gonna come out, right, Savory? So it's like, come on now. The Russia collusion, and also really quickly, there was a news article over the weekend by the Post, the lying Post apparently, that the Clinton administration, the window is closing on Hillary Clinton because it looks like they're as these characters start to cave and they're starting to reveal certain information, why they were lying, who put them up to this, that apparently it's starting to rear its ugly head that Clinton was behind us.
Yeah, she'll never go to jail.
Yeah, she's the one. This is treasonous. That you were literally willing to not smear, but defame and bring up charges and indictments against a sitting president, all because you're not happy with the election results. You see how nasty it got?
Yeah, it's politics, man. Dirty, crazy.
House earlier this evening after he made his first appearance before a judge. In 2019, the Trump Justice Department launched the Durham probe to look into the origins of the Russia investigation. The Biden administration allowed the investigation to continue after it took over. With the details, here's NBC News investigative correspondent Tom Winter.
Shep, good evening. The real news in this indictment today isn't who is named in it, but who is unnamed in it, specifically a person who's referred to only as PR executive number one. It's that.
There's a reason why that person is unnamed. It's probably a whistleblower or someone who's going to literally just probably blow the whole case.
That person that people have seized on here today in talking about what information they passed along to somebody who then passed along information to Christopher Steele for that infamous Steele dossier. Igor Danchenko is the person who's been charged 5 counts of lying to the FBI. And what prosecutors have keyed in on here are his lies.
So I want to cap it there for copyright reasons. But basically, that's what's going on. Just to update the audience out there that the Russian collusion is appearing, or at face value right now, Xavier, if it's just a safe assumption, that it was actually indeed a lie. That's not a conspiracy to say that, right? Am I fair to say that?
Oh, it's not a conspiracy at all to say that. And not only that, we knew it was a lie. There was just no indictments brought forward and no attention towards the media. But when you have claims that cannot be backed up in the court of law, you have to assume it's a lie. So we've been knowing, but now, like you say, like you asked, why now? That's a good question. I don't know, man. But
yeah. And now we're going to transition to the next slide here. I want to introduce our audience to someone. Shaq and Kobe. Check this person out and I'll explain.
The FDA
Our
say
secretary.
that there
Right.
was a
Okay,
large
I don't know.
consensus of doctors and advisors who feel like boosters are warranted and safe and effective. But then during all this, you had 2 top senior officials at the FDA resign during the booster conversation, that being the director of Office of Vaccines Research.
That person, ladies and gentlemen, is whom I want to introduce you guys to, because in this segment, we're going to talk about her. Emerald Robinson. That's Emerald Robinson.
That's her.
That's her.
I love this. I love how you put that in the mix right now before the breaking news.
I'm gonna leave her up there just so that our audience knows who we're talking about. Emerald Robinson was suspended from Twitter permanently. Guess for what, Savory?
Tell us.
Apparently, she put out a tweet stating, not insinuating, she stated and made this bold claim that there's a specific ingredient in the COVID vaccine, and that is luciferize. I'm going to explain to the public what that actually is. But before I get there, let me finish this point. That luciferize is in this, and that it's demonic, it's satanic. This is used to control us. And she says, and she ends that statement by saying, read the last chapter of Revelations. All Christians wake up. Is that something to ban someone permanently for, Xavier? Your initial thoughts?
My initial thoughts are negative. You should not ban somebody for that, even though I believe it's just a dangerous precedent you set of being able to ban somebody for that, because at the end of the day, you either ignore her, but her private organization, Newsmax, right, does have a right to do as they please with her. You know, it is a private organization that she's under. But yeah, I don't think she should be banned. That's like, for what? Because you know, the line could be crossed either way, right? You could start banning for certain things. So somebody could say something that's not as bad, but you can justify because you can say it's dangerous. You should just ignore her if you don't believe that, or make fun of her and just let her be, man. And, you know.
Yeah. Just give me 1 second. I'm having a little bit of a technical issue.
Take your time. And the reason I think also that a lot of these things, or when it comes to social media, free speech banning, you combat speech with more speech. You don't combat speech by actually banning people, because then the next person who's in office, the next person who has power, is going to manipulate that and go even further with it. Or you're probably going to ban something you don't like on the other side, which is why it's a healthy mistrust in government, you know? So.
Yeah, I had a bit of a technical issue here. So I'm going to apply some of the things. Everything is in order here, so no worries, not to worry. But yeah, let's talk about that ingredient that she mentions here, Savory. So I'm gonna pull up this screen here as I'm working through some of these technical issues. I just have to wait for this ad to pass before I share the
Yeah.
screen.
And somebody said, as you pull that up, spreading misinformation against Twitter guidelines, though. Yeah. And again, they define misinformation, this is why it gets tricky, as they want. But is it okay to ban her? Just label her tweet maybe misinformation and let people know that, hey, put the link underneath COVID like they do and let people go. But let people decide, because it's never a good idea to stop conversation and free speech.
So I'll give you an example to whoever made that comment. Infowars. Anyone is familiar with Infowars? This happened in during the Bush administration. He's known as a far right conspiracy theorist. No one ever banned him or sued him for defamation, folks. Why? Because you live in a country that has free speech. Why are we labeling anything is beyond me?
Yeah.
I can make that assessment. I don't need a government entity or a business to tell me what's fake news or not. That just tells me you're bending in favor towards your bias. Hello. Let me make that determination, not you, not your business, not your government. I should be able to make that. All right, I want to introduce to you the ingredient of Lucifreeze. We're going to talk about why we're going here, but initially, I want nobody to panic. I do not believe this ingredient is in the vaccine, although I have not read any of the ingredients in the vaccine. Even if this was in the vaccine, I'm going to explain to you where I'm going with this.
To buy America's finest carpet.
In tonight's Fact or Fiction, we are looking into an anti-vaccine meme going around social media. It says, are you going to get the so-called Luciferase with a patent number 060606 and a digital program called Inferno? These claims are fiction. Luciferase is a real scientific term that describes a group of enzymes that cause the emission of light, but no COVID vaccine contains or is called luciferase.
Okay. This was a news clip here that was published 6 months ago. Okay. Emma Robertson made this claim 2 weeks ago. Okay, so this has been a conversation that's been circulating around the net for months. Okay, so it's not like she's coming out of the woodwork. And why? Look, if they're able to address it on their news station, allow people to do this and allow people to make their claims. Why? Because they do what we're doing here on Drinks with a Nobody, Savory. We measure them critically. Do you understand what I'm saying? I don't care what freaking perspectives that you have again, and where I'm going with this is that Emma Robinson has created a website. She's on Getter, so she's still posting there, and she wrote an essay about the ingredient that's in there, that there's a patent in it, and for this ingredient she posted a actual original patent to it, original ingredient list to it in her essay, and it's got over 2,000 plus shares. Okay. People are reading it. People are listening to her. But here's where I draw the line. Savory, ready for this? I draw the line at this. Why are we starting at the last chapter of Revelations? You won't understand the last chapter of Revelations if you do not read the Gospels. You will not understand the Gospels if you don't read the Old Testament. You won't understand the Old Testament if you do not read the Gospels. We need to stop our apocalyptic religious believers out there, because they're extremists and they push people away from religion. Although I have my opinions on religion, I don't like religion, but in terms of Christianity, in terms of loving Jesus, in terms of following him as a disciple, our job is not to push people away from that idea. And when I hear stuff like this, I'm repulsed. These bold assumptions and these bold claims that a specific nano chip or an illumination ingredient is put in us to control us. I'm sorry, is God not that strong? Did Jesus not defeat death?
So you agree that her platform is harmful? Somebody commented that, so that's a good question for you. Do you agree her platform is harmful?
No, I think it's only harmful for the impressionable. Absolutely, she's free to have it. But what I'm saying is,
should
yeah,
we
go ahead.
protect the impressionable? Just going
No,
off
that's not our job. No, the road to the kingdom is narrow, my friend.
Yeah, you know,
it's
you
not our
got it.
job.
Yeah, this world is not safe. You're gonna have your crazy thoughts, ideas. You can't protect everybody from it. But I believe
Absolutely
enough
not.
people, if it's false, trust me, it won't go anywhere. All
It
right,
will,
and
it will not. Yeah, exactly.
if it proves to be accurate, then it will, and that's scary. But anyways, leave it out there. The truth will come out.
I absolutely. I honestly just want to take a few more moments here, Savory, if we can, to kind of
Yeah.
like flesh this out because it's very important. When
Take
we
your time, man. We
say
do.
when we say that, oh, they're trying to create a chip to control us. Well, they're trying to create this luminescent ingredient to control us or decide where we are. That may be true, but if you're going to connect this to the Bible, you're going to connect this to your Quran. That just tells me that your God is not strong enough. The God of your Quran, the God of your Bible is not strong enough to overcome the human plans. So why should I believe in it? Why should I follow Jesus? When we know, if you really understand the Gospels, Jesus died and rose in 3 days. He defeated death. So why are we going to believe the constructs of any human government as to have ultimate control over our souls? That woman right there, Emma Robinson, she gets a donkey because, again, you're not reading the Gospels. You're using scripture to scare people. It's like a scare tactic, and that's where I feel like a lot of pastors do this too, unfortunately.
I agree. And then it's dangerous. It has a danger element to it, but again, it's just very dangerous to control speech. Right, which is why I'm even against stuff like when you talk about hate speech, because who defines that? Where do you draw the line? Where do we end? Where do we start? Where do we stop?
Great
You know, so it's
point.
like,
Great
so that's my
point.
only thing. I understand where people are coming from, but to your point, it gets exacerbated into this craziness of thoughts and ideas that it's just like not attractive for people, right? So
Yeah,
when you go that
fact.
far, it just becomes crazy. Evangelical Christians believing this will result in the death of others. Really?
What do you
Human
mean?
lives to be put over the right to free speech. How would that, like, you have no evidence of that.
It looks like we need to talk about this. It appears to me we have to.
Maybe he does have evidence that I'm not seeing, but I don't know how would he get evidence of it's gonna, you know.
If you're a believer, I don't know what this person's beliefs is. If you're a believer of Jesus, or you're a follower of God, or you're a follower of Allah, or any higher supreme being, that being aren't they not more powerful than any human that they created? So who cares what a government or a person says or does to you? I don't care what they say. We shouldn't restrict their freedom because we don't like what they say or we don't agree with what they say. Period. We're doing it right here. I don't agree with Emma Robinson. I don't agree with it. Don't use the Bible to support your idiot claims of Luciferus. I don't give a shit. Honestly, I don't. I really don't care. Where Savory has been and I has been consistent is freedom. I just want to be able to choose to decide what I want to put on my body, period. I don't care what your motives are. I don't care what your tactics are. What I care about is my freedom, period. Don't tell me, don't demand to me what I need to put. Don't scare me because the Bible and God and this, or the government and safety and science. I don't care. I should be able to choose what I want to put in my body, period. Yeah, that's my
I like that.
I don't know if there's any more comments there in the comment section about
It was relevant to what you were saying, so I figured I'll mention it, but that's really good.
Yeah.
Great thoughts right there.
How do you feel about moving on here? Are we gonna still do we have any more thoughts on this?
No, I think we kind of, people know where we stand on this, so it's interesting to see other perspectives. But yeah, let's get to this next one here.
Oh, the comment here is human lives should be put over the right to free speech. Absolutely not. Absolutely. See, that I disagree with the premise of that comment. Human lives has nothing to do with free speech. Right? Free speech doesn't kill a person. Actions, physical actions kill a person. Now, free speech may persuade someone to kill someone, but you have to prove that. And there's indictments for people. For example, who was the guy that went to jail for what was it? Manson. He kind of like he didn't kill anyone, but he had his minions. He manipulated them to kill people. Charles Manson, I think his name is. You remember that?
About him. I remember the name. I don't know too much about him.
Anyways, he was indicted because he apparently just, manipulated people, had a cult, and they killed people as a sacrifice. Now he goes to jail and he gets the death penalty, and everyone else goes to jail and has a life sentence while he gets the death penalty. Why? Because he despite the fact that he didn't kill anybody with his physicalness, but he manipulated people to do it. Now, again, I feel bad for the impressionable. Whereas him, they had to prove that he indeed manipulated them to kill them.
Yeah, he had to do that.
Yeah. I don't, again, free speech is free speech. That has to be protected. Even hate speech needs to be protected. Even manipulative speech needs to be protected. All speech needs to be protected, folks. And we're all going to pay the price to that manipulation at some point. It's all consequence.
Well,
saying that this vaccine has a dangerous chemical.
Yeah, let's do this last one before we move. But let me address this one really quick. This vaccine has a dangerous chemical, will result in people not taking the vaccine, which will, within their right, will result in their death. First of all, that is a false scientific claim, right? There's tons of people who are not vaccinated and have not died, and there are people who have taken the vaccine who have also suffered consequences. The point in all this is saying, I don't even want to make it about the vaccine, but I'm just telling you, people taking it or not taking it, it's not the cause of this pandemic continuing, like the administration is lying to us about, So ultimately, there's tons of people who will not take this vaccine. That's their decision.
It can result in their death. Look, that's their decision.
Yeah, that's their decision. Okay,
it's their decision. And can we agree on that? Can we agree that I don't know where you live in the world, but freedom is very important. I mean, look at Australia. It's very important. People don't know how to deal.
Yeah.
Yes, it's their decision. Okay, so we agree on that. That's great. Let's move on. We don't want to harp on this too long. Thank you for your comments.
Republican colleagues, all they seem to be upset about with this is not that the president sought an investigation of his political rival, not that he withheld a White House meeting and $400 million in aid we all passed on a bipartisan basis to pressure Ukraine to do those investigations. Their objection is he got caught. Their objection is that someone blew the whistle. And they would like this whistleblower identified. And the president wants this whistleblower punished. That's their objection. Not that the president engaged in this conduct, but that he got caught. Their defense is, well, he ended up releasing the aid. Yeah.
Look at you remember this bold, this is the guy that said, that there's tangible evidence of Russia collusion. And we have another clip here that I'm going to roll for the audience watching.
Yeah.
Let's see this here.
Yeah, this connects well too, but this is just right here this is just hilarious here. Is this the one him?
That's not the one I wanted to share there. The one I wanted to share was this one, Xavier.
Let's get to him line, right? Or to him.
The one I want to go to the one where he was just, well, first off, Adam Schiff was on The View just recently. But he was also on The View just 2 years prior to his recent appearance, and this is one of them.
Yeah, let's end with those. This is good actually here because these people see the contrast here. So this is what he said 2 years ago to what he's saying now, and you either decide: do you believe all along he didn't know, or was it a political, what they call witch hunt?
Approached by the Russians and told back in April of the election year, even before the Clinton campaign knew, that the Russians had stolen Clinton and DNC emails. And we also know that they previewed their dissemination, the anonymous dissemination of those emails with Papadopoulos back in April. Now, it was only weeks later that the Russians made a second approach to the Trump campaign, this time at the highest levels, at Trump Tower in a meeting that they previewed by saying that they wanted to offer incriminating information about Hillary.
Is it enough for Mueller to bring charges? Because if it isn't enough for Mueller to bring charges, what does that mean?
Well, what it means.
Should I keep playing this?
I just counted 4. Might not be full lies, but manipulations. 2 of them were full lies. The other 2 are you're just using because just because you met with someone doesn't mean you're saying like he was playing these political games there. So yeah. So but we get the point here. He lied.
Well, let's uncap this. Let's uncap this. Right? He is the head of the Intelligence Committee in Congress. But I will say this: politicians are not investigators. Savory. The onus is not on him to prove beyond a reasonable doubt. He's not a lawyer. He's not putting this in court. He is a politician. He literally, his job is to make these claims where he can smear, he can throw questionable things, and the opposing side has to answer to it.
Yeah, but he lied though, right? It's a difference between saying
there's no penalty. There's no penalty for him lying. Yeah, he's not a cop. He's not a lawyer. He's not a judge. He's not a prosecutor, right? He's not any of those things. So the onus is not on him to tell the truth. So I don't blame him.
It's crazy.
I think it gets a little bit more heated here.
Charges of collusion.
This is a very important question, and that is what's Mueller's job and what's our job? Bob Mueller will make the decision whether there is proof beyond a reasonable doubt to indict and convict people. It is not his responsibility to tell the country what happened. And indeed, there's no guarantee.
That right there is politician 101. Tell the country what happened. That's what absolves them of any burden or responsibility of it being the truth. It doesn't have to be the truth. I'm just putting information out there as a politician.
This man's a liar.
Yeah, it's smoke and mirrors. That's pretty much what it is, and that's what she goes on to say in the furtherance of that interview there. But before we get to his bombshell interview, there's a person that was adamantly opposed from this from the very beginning, Savory. Do you remember?
Devin Nunes.
Devin Nunes, and he was bold as heck. And check what he had to say 2 years ago during a committee hearing.
Gasp. Voice this spectacle on the American people, as well as you, Mr. Mueller. The American people may recall the media first began spreading this conspiracy theory in the spring of 2016, when Fusion GPS, funded by the DNC and the Hillary Clinton campaign, started developing the Steele dossier.
Like we said, this was said a couple of years ago that the Hillary Clinton campaign was the one who orchestrated or constructed, along with FBI, along with the Obama administration. Remember that tweet that Trump put out there? Said you were lying, Obama, and you got caught.
No, you got caught.
So, and you wonder why he got banned? You guys wonder why he got banned?
Wonder no more. Easy to see.
Have no fear. At Drinks with a Nobody, we reveal those things because we're two Latinos who actually think critically. We don't think with our flags. We don't wave our banner of our nationalism and think through that. We don't think through our political party lines. No, we don't think through that. We think critically and see it as it is from multifaceted. You remember that movie Vantage Point, Savory?
No, I didn't watch that movie. No.
Oh, come on. What's wrong with you?
Yeah,
you don't watch sports? You don't watch movies? You don't watch TV?
I haven't watched a lot of movies, man. I hardly watch movies either.
Do you read books?
Yeah. That's what I love to do, though. Other than that, you know. All right, so wait, this is it right here. So this is
it. This is it. This is the final rundown here,
we
folks.
just showed the Russia collusion, what was happening, the lies behind the scenes, right? We had to dug up the truth. Now he comes on The View and look what he says, backpedaling every single thing.
Before and look, folks, we find this on mainstream outlets, on YouTube, on media outlet. We find it through the sources you can find it, and yet we still have different opinions on it.
Yeah.
And we show you why. We lay the case out for you why. Look at how this man has evolved and has turned to this.
Benefit for the American people, and we got to get it done.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you about something that's in the news a lot right now. You've been really prolific over the past few years being the head of the Intel Committee, and you defended, promoted, you even read into the congressional record the Steele dossier. And we know last week the main source of the dossier was indicted by the FBI for lying about most of the key claims in that dossier. Do you have any reflections on your role in promoting this to the American people?
Well, first of all, whoever lied to the FBI or lied to Christopher Steele should be prosecuted, and they are. And unlike in the Trump administration, if they're convicted,
he can't help himself, Savory. He can't help himself. He has to somehow, some way, as he's sinking on his ship, he still has to mention that 4 or 5 letter word Trump, because it's like a get out of jail free card here.
But I love how he gets challenged here, man. I want people to pay attention here because even though he still won't probably pay a price for this, but he clearly lied.
And just to keep in mind out there, we stop this often for copyright issues. We do not want to get flagged. We want to keep our content growing, so that's why.
they should go to jail, not be pardoned. So Donald Trump pardoned Roger Stone for lying. He pardoned Michael Flynn for lying. If people lied to the FBI, they should go to jail.
All right, I want to address that. I want to address that, Savory.
Break that down for us really quick, please. Thank you.
If the Steele dossier was a lie, then the Roger Stones of the world didn't need to be in custody, didn't need to be indicted, didn't need to go through court cases, didn't need to go through litigation. Michael Flynn didn't need to go to jail. Michael Flynn didn't need Sidney Powell to represent him before Supreme Court. If the Steele dossier is a lie, which we have proven to you guys that it is, the Post, if you're born under a rock, if you're not reading articles, it is a lie, folks. Then
100%.
Why did those people need to be indicted? Of course they needed to be pardoned because this was a political smear campaign and they weren't going to absolve them of that.
But at the beginning of the Russia investigation, I said that any allegations should be investigated. We couldn't have known, for example, people were lying to Christopher Steele. So it was proper to investigate them. And let's not forget what we learned in that investigation. We learned that the Trump campaign chairman, Paul Manafort, was giving internal polling data, campaign polling data to Russian intelligence, while Russian intelligence was helping the Trump campaign.
And to be clear, he was fired halfway through the campaign.
Oh, he was fired? He may have been fired.
Yeah.
But the effort to get Russian help continued, and even beyond the effort to get Russian help,
But you
the
may have
president
helped
also
spread Russian
sought to get...
disinformation yourself for years
For
by promoting
years.
this. I think that's what Republicans and what people who entrusted you as the Intel Committee chair are so confused about your culpability in all of this.
You are the Intel Committee president. You are the guy who oversees Intel.
Can't stand these
people. I don't expect you to tell the truth, but can you verify the sources?
Like, come on.
You verify the information so that it doesn't look this bad. And then you wonder why young people don't believe in our political system. Well, we're two young Latinos that want to encourage people to look at it for what it is and to still believe in it, because there's no other better alternative, folks. I promise you. Savory, is there a better alternative than to our American government?
No, there's definitely not. Not that I've seen, unless you're comparing it to the dream you had last night that you lived in a utopia. Other than that, we are here, man. I'm telling you, we are here. This is it right here.
Well, I completely disagree with your premise. It's one thing to say allegations should be investigated, and they were. It's another to say that we should have foreseen in advance that some people were lying to Christopher Steele, which is impossible, of course, to do. But let's not use that as a smokescreen to somehow shield Donald Trump's culpability for inviting Russia to help him in the election, which they did, for trying to coerce Ukraine into helping him in the next election, which he did, into inciting an insurrection, which he did. None of that.
What insurrection, Savory? What insurrection?
Yeah, he should have stayed home. He should have stayed home.
There was an insurrection in this country?
Yeah, I'm not even entertaining this guy.
Listen, I'm not a Trump worshiper. I promise you, I'm not. I will call a spade a spade.
Just common sense, man. You know, it's like
January 6th is an insurrection.
The way they portrayed it, yeah. But yeah, let's.
That is undercut. None of that serious misconduct.
Mind you, not a single shot was fired, other than from a law enforcement person into a civilian trying to just enter into the Capitol building with no weapon on her. Okay? Just so you know, that's an insurrection. Got it.
Conduct is in any way diminished by the fact that people lied to Christopher Steele?
No, I think just your credibility is.
I think the credibility of your question is in doubt.
All right. I have a question.
What a white comeback. The credibility of your questions is in doubt. What kind of comeback is that? She's asking you good questions that you can't answer? Bro, just have a seat. He should have stayed home, but he came up with you. He got started.
We have a comment here about my January 6th insurrection. Is that was it not? It was not. Do not believe the smear of that. That's political smear 101. You got to see past that. Like, think critically. Not a single weapon was shot from a civilian. Think critically. Several civilians died that day. We only hear of one, but several civilians died that day. One died because they were trampled on and sprayed with some kind of chemical, and the other one died by a law enforcement officer shooting the civilian in the neck. Okay?
Yeah.
People died. They forcibly broke into the Capitol.
We
Yes.
gotta do a whole episode on this because this will take
yeah, just really quickly. I want to face that right quick.
Nah, go ahead.
Breaking into a building is not an insurrection. It's called trespassing, criminal trespass. And if you don't believe me. Look at the charges that these people are actually being indicted with. Not a single person is being charged with insurrection. You know what they're being charged with? Trespass, which is a slap on the hand. No, bad boy, bad girl. No one's being charged for murder. No one's being charged for weapons charges. No one's being charged for combating with the military, combating with law enforcement. In fact, there were multiple footages that attorneys are using to defend these people that law enforcement decided not to step in during the protest. So if people died, it should not be considered violent.
So, by the way, definition of insurrection is a violent attempt to take control of a government, right? If you buying into that, these people try to take over the U.S. government and they try to take over and really start it's a stretch, but it's manipulating a lot of people, and the people who believed are usually falling into a certain narrative. I don't know if that's you or not, or anybody watching, but at the end of the day, there is a narrative behind that. It's worth discussing, and we might revisit that and do a breakdown of January 6th episode.
I really like the person that's been commenting.
They've been on.
This person is bold, strong. Has certain in their convictions. I really appreciate you. That's a lack that we do not have nowadays. But if you're going to continue watching us and continue commenting, be prepared for us to push back on you. Come with your homework. Do your homework.
Definitely come back with these thoughts because we do love it, but we challenge it. But you're challenging us in different ways, so you force us to sharpen our thoughts and ideas. So we love it. Always welcome back. So hopefully you come back because we're engaging. We're building this momentum. As you saw me, I think live on TikTok, right?
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna
hopefully I'll be there soon, baby. Hopefully I'll be there soon. Yeah. All right. In closing our show today, thank you everyone for watching. For tuning in periodically or watching us on replay. We appreciate you because we're trying to build a platform here. We're trying to build a community, not a cult, to have everyone has autonomy. Everyone should be able to have free speech. And that's what we want. We want to create this sitting environment where we can discuss, we can have our philosophical thoughts, we can have our practical thoughts, we can have our legal expertise, we can have all those things discussed here over a drink, over a pint, as they would say in England or in other European countries, over a pint. Let's do that. Because why? When you're at a bar, the bar is considered Switzerland, folks. Everything is safe at a bar, okay? You don't attack the bartender because the bartender will shoot you, okay? Consider us your bartenders, and we're stimulating the conversation. And what better way to do that than to do it over a pint? And thank you for having the conceptual or the physical pint with us if you had a drink with us or any kind of drink. It doesn't have to be a beer or beverage or alcohol. It could just be whatever you want. Thank you for having that drink with us. We want to continue the conversation. Be sure to follow us on all our major platforms that we have going. We are everywhere. Especially TikTok. We are lively on TikTok. Our handles there are at Savory_edition and at MachoFix88. Be sure to get on our Discord. Type in Drinks with a Nobody. Search us up. Get in there. Share your ideas. Share your thoughts. Share a bit about yourself too, as well. And in case you miss any of our previous broadcasts, be sure to go on YouTube. Type in Drinks with a Nobody. Hit that subscribe button. Click that notification bell so you're ready with us. Okay. So again, thank you for joining us. This show may be over, but at Drinks with a Nobody, we believe in no last call. So until tomorrow, adios.
Cheers.
Cheers, baby.